There is, and I should be really clear, a totally I don't know how to set this up. I never want to be in a position to defend Joe Scarborough in any way. But there is like a old conspiracy theory about an intern who died in his office. There's absolutely no evidence that I have seen in any way that points to foul play. But it's definitely been something that's floated around the internet for a very long time about Joe Scarborough. I've actually always been shocked that Trump has not gone to this well before. I think it's an incredible act of self-restraint on his part. We were saying today in the office that Trump going to this conspiracy theory is sort of like his version of like the Bond villain opening up his final layer, his like last like booster seat. So maybe Trump is really feeling the pressure. I mean, Tony Schwartz, his co-author, came out yesterday and said that he has sources in the White House apparently that are like Donald Trump is having a full mental breakdown.
It's not apparent at all.
It's not apparent at all. Wouldn't get any indication of that from my behavior. I seem super stable. So he tweeted out the Joe Scarborough conspiracy thing, and which was do we have that tweet actually? I don't know if we have that tweet. Maybe it's part of this segment. And I just want to remind, I mean, the really important thing to always remind everybody is that Joe and Mika thought this was all fun and games when they were kissing Trump's ass during his ascent to the presidency and carrying water for him during the primaries, and it was a big joke and everything was funny. And you know, when Donald Trump did that impression of the reporter, who I believe, what was it, muscular dystrophy? I don't recall what his specific ailment was, but when he did the impression of the guy with the medical condition and speech condition that was so cruel that, I mean, honestly, like, if you did that joke in 5th grade, I think at that point, if you were on a normal human trajectory, you already might be going, that's a little mean. Scarborough thought that was hilarious. He laughed about it. And then, you know, apparently now he just doesn't understand what's happened with Donald Trump. Back then, he used to be in on the joke when he was promoting xenophobia, racism, conspiracy theories, and misogyny. But now Joe and Mika are very aggrieved, and their Victorian soap opera continues with the President of the United States. Here's Joe Scarborough talking about Trump's totally not erratic behavior.
He is completely detached from reality. We had a New York Times and Washington Post piece saying so a couple of days ago. And the question is, Mika, if this is not what the 25th Amendment was drafted for,
then what is it?
I would like the cabinet members serving America, not the president, serving America. You serve America, and you know it. You know you don't serve Donald Trump. Scam developer. Scam, Trump University proprietor, reality TV show host. You don't represent him. You represent 320 million people whose lives are literally in your hands, and we are facing a showdown with a nuclear power, and you have somebody inside the White House that the New York Daily News says is mentally unfit, that people close to him say is mentally unfit, that people close to him during the campaign told me had early stages of dementia. Now, listen, you can get mad at me if you want to.
You can say that's not okay to say, but
it is okay to say. When are we supposed to say this? After the first nuclear missile goes? Is that when it's proper to bring this up in polite society? Tell me. General Mattis, when is it polite to bring this up in polite society?
That's fine.
Rex Tillerson, when is this the right time to talk about a mentally unstable president in the White House and a nuclear showdown with another unstable madman in North Korea? Is it after the first nuclear missiles fly? When exactly is the right time, Steve Mnuchin?
Pence.
Mike Pence.
Okay.
Guess what? Republicans want you to be president. The Republicans in the House and the Senate would love you to be president of the United States. You know why? Because you're stable.
Really?
And here's the thing. Everybody around Donald Trump knows he's not stable. Everybody around Donald Trump knows he's not stable now.
Kelly.
Everybody.
Okay, first of all, small observation. Donald Trump's hand motions are filtering to Joe Scarborough. He's doing a little everybody with his hands there. Yeah, the Republican Party and Trump's cabinet is okay with having a mentally unstable person running all of this because right now they're pushing through a massive regressive tax cut, which is their entire purpose for being. Orrin Hatch called him I believe, a great president the other day. And he would be a paragon of this sort of supposedly responsible Republican leadership that's so concerned about having a lunatic as president.
I barely know what's going on.
We're in a cabinet of corporate double dealing, war crimes in Iraq, mortgage fraud, and a obscene religious fanaticism combined with voter suppression, which is pretty much covered in all of the metrics that Scarborough is just whining for leadership from. Where do you think the genuine concern for the well-being of the world is going to come into play? And by the way, an unstable potential nuclear standoff, guess who's promoting potential armed conflict and absolute devastation across Asia regularly on the news? Lindsey Graham, who I am sure would be another really, really stable person. And when is it the time to call it out? Maybe it's the time to call it out when that same racist scam artist is running for president. And he's giving speeches ginning up bigotry against Muslims, against Mexicans, against black people, against... Maybe it's the time when has any number of women who have come forward and said that he's committed assault. Maybe at any of those times, it was time, Joe. And I know that every couple of months they did a little like, I don't know what's going on here. That sounds pretty bad. Muslim ban? That's not what we do. Coming up next, Donald Trump calls us from the Trump Tower to insult his Republican opponents, and we'll do a Howard Stern segment with him for 20 minutes and laugh.
And Bill Kristol will come and collect his check.
And then Bill Kristol will come in and collect his check and talk about how disgusting it all is. Meanwhile, the guy is an architect of every single American military and domestic misadventure, essentially, that you could imagine, from the Iraq invasion to Sarah Palin. And that's a voice of reasonableness on this guy's robust bigotry. Morning Joe is in absolutely no position to judge anything. And it's, just how about start with an apology? I'm sorry that we helped facilitate, promote, and got ratings from an unstable, malignant narcissist who had a scam university and is now running an incredibly reckless, dangerous presidency. And Mike Pence is a stable person. Good luck.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos